Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any materials produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present Girls vs. Ghosts Media's The Dr. Gina Show with Gina Marie. Gina is a psychic medium and an intuitive counselor who has a bachelor's degree in psychology, master's degree in counseling, and a doctorate degree in occupational therapy. The Dr. Gina Show is live on Spreaker every other Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific, right here on Paranormal Buzz Radio. Be sure to follow Gina on all her social media. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Gina Marie. Welcome to the Dr. Gina Show.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my show. Welcome to the Dr. Gina Show. So today is a special day in a big way because I have one of my favorite people, Sharla Hardin, here from Girls vs. Ghost of War series, and she has been the first person with Girls vs. Ghosts that helped me on this radio show, to start this radio show, and that's why I'm here today. So I started in October, thanks to Sharla and Beth, who posted something on their Instagram that they were looking for some hosts. I was like already loving those two girls. I was following them both, and when they posted that, I was like, wow, I had been saying I wanted to do some talk show, radio show or something, and so I just messaged Sharla. I inboxed Sharla and Girls vs. Ghosts, and obviously, like, she didn't know me. I wasn't part of the whole circle like everybody is with all the paracons. I didn't even know what a paracon was. I didn't know anything. I was just really just Dr. Gina, just like I had a doctorate degree and I was a psychic medium, and I was thinking this would be really cool for me to do a show. I didn't know anything about it. So Sharla was very, very, very special to me. So I want to welcome Sharla. Hello, Sharla.
Hi, Dr. Gina. Hi, Shay, in the background.
Hello. And we have Shay here, who, of course, is going to come in to the chat. So if anyone's out there listening, just know that the chat will be open, but we do not respond to the chat till like 20 minutes left, and then Shay comes on and we all answer the questions. So put your questions in chat. Unfortunately, guys, I can't see chat right now from where I'm at because I'm in Jersey and I don't have the chat open. I don't have the internet. So if anyone's saying hi, I just want to say hi to everyone off the bat right now because I can't see that chat right now. So, but remember, at 20 of we'll just start interacting and talk through the chat. So I want to talk to Sharla. I want to tell everyone, if anyone doesn't know Sharla, she has started a new documentary series called The Ghost of War series. And I remember hearing about it at first, and I was like, it's super cool. I didn't really know much about it. I heard and I was starting to read up, and I talked to her about it, and I knew she was telling stories about, a lot of the war series and different things and bringing the paranormal in it. So I wasn't really sure what it really was about. And then one night I called Charlotte. We were catching up, and she was explaining it to me. And I was so into this story when she was explaining it to me. And it just became so alive to me. And then I started telling her about an investigation I did with DPX and about this ghost box. And then she told me she had this ghost box. And I said, super cool. And she said, do you want to hear it? I said, yes. So she pulled out this ghost box. So, Sharla, just give me a little background on your new series and let everybody know what you're doing. And then let's talk about how you actually talk to the spirits through communication. So just give us a little background.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Ghosts of War series is going to be a series about me following the footsteps of my ancestors through their journey in the Civil War. We're literally going to be filming on location at places where they were, battlefields where they fought, little towns where they crossed through, things like that. And we're going to just tell the story of, who they are in relation to me, where they came from. The cool part about it is once I started researching my family history, it's just a mixed bag of people across the board. We have Confederate soldiers, Union soldiers, side switchers, deserters. We even had one who was killed as a result of his injuries in the war. They were bankers, farmers, shoemakers, just everyday simple people. We're not talking great brigadier generals or war heroes, just kind of everyday common people like I am, and they were present at this incredibly pivotal moment in the history of our country. And not only were they there, but they were in the thick of it, and if you can imagine what that would be like to go back into that time and live that life. That's what we're going to try to do.
What's so cool about that is when we were talking about this, when I talked to you, you actually bring the story. I thought I was back in that time. Like you telling me that story just for that short amount of time, I believed I was, that time me and you were engaged, I believed I was there just by you telling the story. So what year was this? What year was it?
Well, the years that we'll explore really will be 1861 to 1865. So, that 5-year time period when everything, started and then when it ended. So, and right now there's about 8 relatives that I have that we'll talk about. It's interesting when you go back in your family tree. Anybody who has family who's been here longer than 150 years has some sort of tie with the Civil War. One of your ancestors somewhere along the way was involved on some level, and we all have this in our past. But to go back to that time period and understand, their language was different. They spoke differently than we did. Obviously, there was no social media. I mean, there was, it wasn't even electricity, but and
Jesus, I can't imagine.
I found these letters that were sent from one of my relatives' neighbors who was a surgeon in the war, and he would send these letters home to his wife, and just the manner in which he spoke to his wife. He even talked about my ancestor, Asbury Copeland, and, said, tell Asbury to come seek war or come seek, death or something. So, they spoke in very metaphorically and very proper English, but yet non-proper English. It's interesting. It really is. Do you have those back and do you have those letters, or are they going to be a part of the series? I just would love to hear them. They are. If I can get permission from the publisher to include them, then it definitely will. It's been really hard to track down the person who is responsible for them. But once things become part of the National Archives, then they become, kind of in the public domain. So I'm trying to figure out how I can make that happen. But they're available online as well. And, he would just, the way he addressed his wife, my dear Catherine, or whatever her name was, my dearest, I can't imagine typing it into anybody saying, my dearest Gina.
No, I mean, my guy texted me, WYD, what are you doing? Where you at? What? Wow. God, turn back time. Jesus. God, just imagine that. How do they sign off on it, just for curiosity? Like, do they say, goodbye, my love?
Your devoted husband forever. Things like that. Oh, it's really interesting. All the love to you, or all my love and prayers. And, well, I mean, I can see somebody saying that today, but, for the most part, we're like, yo, G, what's up?
All my love and prayers. Oh, my God, my devoted is just be like, okay, good night, talk soon, whatever. So
yeah.
It's just unbelievable. Wow.
Unless, just like me, half the time I forget I'm in the middle of a chat conversation because I'm doing laundry too or something, and I never even say goodbye. I just forget that we're talking.
And just the time that it takes, back then, just look at the difference. The time it took to engage writing that letter, just, just like they were so involved in life. Life, it wasn't about such a rush.
Yeah, and some people didn't even know how to write. They would sign their names with an X, and then whoever was the witness who could write would write their name. I mean, and that was like prevalent. Like Asbury's wife, when she signed for his pension, she signed it with an X. She didn't know how to write.
That's so sad. You think about it, because that was their ways of communication. Writing,
so while
really.
They were, yeah. And while many of them were gone and away at war, they couldn't write home because they didn't know how.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's very, very sad. Asbury Copeland, this is like for everyone out there that's listening, I just want to talk about Asbury because, I mean, if anyone's in the chat or listening here, I'm sure most people are, if you listen to my show, we're into the paranormal. So the coolest part about Ghost of War series, for me, when I was a little kid, like everyone that knows me knows, I only played with Army men. I had Army men all over the floor. My dad would step on them and scream, because they would hurt his bare feet. But that was my thing. Army men. So I was so into, like, Army men. And, of course, being a witch since birth, I was like, I want to be a witch. So you add this paranormal. So this, for me, is so super cool because it brings back, like, this is just not about telling about, the Civil War. This is bringing the paranormal into it. This is what makes this, like, super, super cool for me because these people that you're writing about, especially Asbury, as you guys are going to hear, he is someone from the past. You can look him up, you can find him, sure, research, all that. However, this man, like, we all do here, in chat or listening, we talk to spirit, we talk to dead people. I do it all the time. However, this series brings these people to life. They're really there. And Asbury, Charlie, you got to tell him how Asbury is involved in this, and he's passed.
Yeah, he's been a great motivating factor. I had the experience all started for me on a battlefield in Gettysburg, and I had an experience. I pulled over to a random battlefield on my way out of town it's not even really a battlefield where there's like a marker. It's just on the side of the road. And I just laid down in the middle of this field, and I had this experience, and I thought, wow, that's intense, and I need to research and find out if I had any family members here. Well, come to find out, 3 years later, I literally just found out, like in the past couple of months, that I had several family members on that battlefield. And but that was kind of the inspiration of telling the story of these men, because I thought, how many men laid there that day in that field, and we'll never know anything about them. Whatever memories there were of them, whatever stories there were, unless they were, great generals and great people that people want to glorify, then you'll never know the story and the plight of this simple man who was on those battlefields. So I had an experience one night, and in my room, and after I started doing some research, we found my dad found some relatives And they had given him a bowl from one of my relatives on the Smith side of the family, who took this cast iron bowl with him to the battlefield. Like, you literally carried your own, whatever you had for like 6 months or on a time or whatever, you carried on your back. That included everything, your bedroll, your change of clothes, the bowl that you ate out of.
Wow.
And I saw a shadow of this man kind of standing over me in the corner of my room. And it kind of creeped me out a little bit. And so I just ignored it, went back to sleep. This happened a few times. And finally, one night, I was just tired, and I hadn't slept well for like the past 3 nights or so. And I said, listen, I don't know whoever you are, but you got to get out of here. I didn't know if it was something that followed me home from an investigation, but I'm like, look, I got to sleep. You got to go. Bye. Goodbye. I'm done. But he was never imposing. So the next morning I got up and I took that bowl and I took it downstairs. I'm like, whatever the hell is attached to this bowl, I'm taking it out of my room. I'm done.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, so I take the bowl out and the activity stops for a little while. Well, then I started getting all this inspiration for Asbury. And once I found him in my tree and started doing research, there was all this research out there already about him in some capacity or another. And another relative who is, I guess, a distant cousin, who's in his 90s today, had started in the late 1990s to get his name placed on a headstone marker at this cemetery, Memorial Cemetery in Mississippi, because that's where he was injured and that's where he died. And that's where he's buried in a mass grave of, 1,000 other people. And so the more I started learning about this, I'm like, he's involved in this somehow. He's wanting his story told. And then I reached out to Jeff Fent about creating a ghost box for the series, because anybody that's ever seen anything that Jeff Fent's done, his work is amazing. It's beautiful, and it's, their works of art, all in and of themselves. So I reached out and said, hey, can I commission a box? And I started telling him, more and more about the series, and he's such an amazing person. He said, listen, I just want to donate the box. I think this is a great cause that you're doing, and I would just feel better donating it to the series for your use, which, kind of blew me away anyway, but that's just Jeff.
Charlie, can you tell us, because I know some of my friends are listening, and I didn't know what a ghost box was until I did my first investigation at Eloise, and, I fell in love with it. So can you explain what a ghost box is a little bit to some people like my friends who I know are listening that don't know?
Yeah, absolutely. So a ghost box is something that amplifies the sound and cuts down on the white noise of the background noise. So there's some electronics inside of it that, if you've ever heard a ghost box, like a spirit box, or watched any of the ghost shows, you've heard one and you may not even know it. It goes, and what it does is it is, at hyper speed, sifting through AM and or FM, and sometimes AM and FM, depending on the device you're using it with, signals. So what this box does is it cuts down on that noise. So all you get is what comes through. And the theory is that spirit can manipulate these airwaves to produce a sound, or to, quote unquote, speak, as, you and I would hear it. And one of the reasons you can tell if you have something that's not just a radio station picking up is, let's say you've got something that you're going through 10, 15 channels a second. If you get a sentence or 2 words in a row, 3 words in a row, you kind of hit on something, because it was only on that station for not even an entire second. So That's how it works. When you take this device, go ahead. You're going to ask? Did I lose you?
Yes. Yep. You're back.
You're back? Okay.
You're back.
Speaking of manipulating airwaves, if you connect one of these devices to the box amplifies the sound, so it's easier to extract the words and the information that someone may or may not, be trying to send you. So that's kind of how it works. And the whole time that Jeff was creating this box, he felt very much like Asbury was right there with him, kind of guiding him through the process. And, almost to the point where his energy became familiar to Jeff, and they developed almost a dialogue of their own. You have to think Asbury was a shoemaker, so he was very precise. He was a tradesman or craftsman, right? And much of what Jeff does when he creates these boxes is the same thing. He creates, measurements have to be accurate when you're working with wood and components, electronic components. So I think Asbury was probably very curious and impressed, as a tradesman with what Jeff was doing. And Jeff even said a couple of times that he found himself second-guessing himself, which is not something that he did a lot of when he built boxes. And he thought very much that was Asbury saying, well, why don't we do it this way, or what happens if we do it that way? And he feels like he really got his guidance and his partnership in creating that. So, that was so very cool. Inspiring. Yeah.
And that was so cool from the beginning, and this is the part that gets me so much, is like when you started this, it was like, because when I talk to spirit, or they come to me, or say I go visit somebody and, they want to talk to me, they'll say, oh, so-and-so's friend. Like, they'll try to contact me. But because you were on that battlefield, he found you, and then you got the bowl, and he was already trying to bring you into this story. It was like, it's so amazing how this happened. And then he worked with Jeff for this box. And as you guys are going to hear, like, Asbury Copeland is a spirit, okay? But he is in this project. He is like, his name needs to be there as like co-writer. It's amazing. That's so cool.
I was laughing about it the other day, and I said, to Lyle, and actually Shay and Kelly, when they had me as a guest on their show, we're probably going to have to figure out a way to give him some sort of co-director or credits or something.
Yes, because a lot, like, here he is. So now Jeff is making this, and that's amazing that he felt that way, because that was probably him. It probably was, giving him messages. How long did it take him to make this box? Does it take a long time?
A couple of months maybe. once he found the shell of kind of what, and that was the thing too, is Jeff just put like so much amazing work into this. The detail, the little things that he thought of. He put a picture of Asbury in there, and in front of the picture is a piece of glass, and he even had the glass etched, and the glass lights up, and the picture lights up. And you can light each one of them independently. There's he put a little plaque on the side that says CS. He has another plaque on there that says Ghosts of War series. He has a flag embedded in the cover, and then underneath the flag there are 3 images that only I know what they are. And then in the back, he just the little things that he did to make it easy to use. And I don't know, it's amazing what Jeff did. It really is. Amazing.
So this, like, well, I was telling everyone, like, again, like, people that when I did my first Paracon was in Salem, and I was with Weird Weekends, and Donnie and Wendy, they had this little recorder thing, and we were in this house, and I talk to dead people all the time, but And it's cool. I talk to them. They give me confirmation. But there's nothing like, we were in this house in Salem, and I was talking to this guy who was in there, and I told Donnie his name is John or whatever. And so Donnie's talking to the box, and he goes, "What's your name?" He says, "John." He goes, "Say hi to Gina." The box turns around, whoever this John was, says, "Hello, Gina." Okay, so I almost died. And people, I work with kids in early intervention, I used to, and when kids start to talk, because I work with a lot of autistic kids, and the kid would say, "Gina," I mean, the feeling like I'm not a mother, so I never had that first word, Mom, but when the 2-year-olds would start saying Gina, I thought, oh my God, it was like amazing. But guess what? When I heard a ghost recorder thing say, "Hello, Gina," I have to tell you, being like a psychic medium, that was even better than the 2-year-old who started to talk. I say it's just as good, but it is mind-blowing. And so, like, this box, when me and Sharla were talking, Sharla brought the box on the phone with us. So let's talk a little bit about how you communicate with Asbury and how he helps you through this box.
So it was really cool. I was telling Gina all about it, and I said, "Here, I'll get it, and I'll let you hear it." So we plugged it up, and now Gina and I are just like on the phone, like on speakerphone or whatever. I put the phone down, and the first thing she says is, "Hello, Asbury," and you hear "Hello," and we just started having this conversation, and she was blown away by it, and she started laughing. And the next thing you know, she said, "What did you ask something about Batman? What did you ask about Batman? Do you remember?"
What happened was I said, Batman, Charlotte's cat. So I said, "Do you like Charlotte's cats?" Because I'm a cat person, I think. So I asked something like, "Do you like Charlotte's cats?" And then Charlotte tell him what he said. This is just amazing. And this is the spirit box talking, clear as anything. And I'm on speakerphone. Okay.
He says, "I pet him."
I pet him. He said I pet him. I can't believe it. And then first I almost died. So I'm telling you, I can talk to dead people all you want. They can give me their name or anything. But there's nothing like a box telling me he pets the cat. Nothing. He pets Batman. And then, Sharla, you asked him about the other cat. This is even better because Sharla has 2 cats.
The funniest part, is Bob. We call him Crackhead Bob because he's always on the prowl. He looks like a tweaker walking down the road. I mean, he's all over the place. He's long and lanky and thin. Batman is the fat house cat. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He's been there, done that. He's just hanging out. But Bob is like long and lanky, and he's always on the prowl. I mean, he rarely ever sits still. And so, Gina, actually, you said, "Do you pet Bob too?" And he said, we try to.
We try. That's because there was a woman, and I asked the woman's name. She told me Rose, and then Sharla asked the name, and the box said Rose. And I'm telling you, I get validation from live people, but when a box validates me that I had the right name, I can't even tell you how amazing it is. The box validated Rose, and that's why he was saying we, because apparently Rose is with him. And that's when do you pet Bob too? And when he said, Asbury said, "We try to," because obviously Bob's not staying in place. Yes, I'm telling you guys, there is nothing. There's nothing like this. So here you are doing this Ghost of War series, and you can talk to the guy who was there and ask him questions. Tell them about the Paracon you did in Gettysburg and how you had Asbury communicating through the box there. This is a great story.
So we had the box sitting up on our table. We had the box sitting up on our table. Heather was there. My daughter Jessica was there. And we would kind of take shifts. Somebody would stay at the table and one of us would walk around and whatever. But the box pretty much ran nonstop. And there were a couple times like we'd forget about it. And, somebody would come up and the box would say, "Hello." They would have a conversation. And you would see it would kind of creep them out, but at the same time, it would kind of make them laugh, and they kind of wanted to continue to talk. And then, Heather and I would engage in conversation with whoever was standing at the table, and then they would leave, and we'd say, "All right, see you soon," or whatever, and the box would go, "Bye-bye." Bye.
Oh, my God.
And there's this
it's
one
just
guy
amazing.
Yeah, there was this one guy who was walking up, and he was an interesting-looking fellow. I mean, I'll say that. And, you know, sometimes when you're at these paracons, you can tell kind of who's meandering over and who's going to stop at your table, because you can pick up on that energy that they're making their way over there, but they're trying not to, you know, be obvious about it, but they're coming kind of straight for you. And the closer and closer he got, Heather and I were just looking at him because we knew we were about to engage in conversation, and the box goes, interesting.
Oh my God. Like Asbury is right there. This is, I'm telling you, these things are expensive, and one day I will have one. I will have a box, and I will carry the box with me, and I won't even need to talk to my friends. Like, I will just talk to I talk to spirit now, and I don't know if they're, you know, if I'm making up what they're saying or not, you know, but if I had a box, I would know what they're saying. I would walk around and talk to this box all the time. I'd be like, hey, who's here? And then they talk to me. I go, and I ask them questions. It would just be so fun. Just, I mean, I love talking to dead people. Obviously, that's what I do. But like, to have a box, just Charlotte, just, and have your guy help you do this. And I haven't talked to you in a while, so tell me like how you are on the series so far, how far you've gotten, like where you're at in this production.
Well, one quick note, though, it would be really interesting to see with the box, because the relationship, I now understand the relationship that people develop with these boxes. I used to watch Dan Klaus all the time walk around with his Geo box, and he has it all with him all the time. And I admittedly kind of maybe, you know, but to his face, kind of a little bit made fun of him about it. I'm like, man, you're just like attached to that box, aren't you? I never understood it until now. But I was like, you know, the kid on Christmas Story that, you know, they pan over and he's sleeping with his little Zeppelin plane. That's me with my box. But you develop this relationship. It's very bizarre. But I can just see the whole council coming through for you. That would be really,
oh my
really
God. I need a box.
Yeah.
I'll be doing the Dr. Gina show with the box.
Yes. What's in the box?
I'm working on manifesting stuff. You know what? Just before we get into this, I want to tell everyone, like, I totally manifested Sharla. Like, everyone, if you guys are following me, you know August was manifestation month. But, like, I manifested that I wanted to be on a radio show. Like, why would Sharla ever pick me? Like, the girls that she picked was, like, Kelly, Stephanie, Madison. These people were already, like, established in the paranormal field. People knew them. I didn't know what a paracon was. I didn't know what a ghost box was. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to hardly log on to a computer, like, let alone watch these lives. I knew nothing. And I, like, all of a sudden, it's like, ran across Charlotte and Beth. And if anyone, like, knows me, knows my favorite show is Two Broke Girls. If anyone's never watched that sitcom, it's so amazing. Two Broke Girls, about two girls that are waitresses, and they start this cupcake thing. Anyway, so Charlotte and Beth were just reminding me of them, too. Like, and I was just like, I love them. Like, they're so real, their personality. I didn't even really know it. Like, and then I realized there's talking about, like, paranormal stuff, which made me even love them more. But at first, I didn't even know they were talking about paranormal stuff. And then I was like, okay, I started listening to them, and they were so cool and fun. And when they posted this thing, like, I never, like, people that know me know, I am more active now because of Sharla on Facebook. I never was. And somehow I ran across this post. Like, how do I run across it? That they're looking for a host for this show. Yeah. And how would she ever pick me? Like, come on. And then all of a sudden, what'd you say?
You need it. I think it's pretty obvious why. You know, we had a lot of help when we got started, you know, I mean, but we also had to figure things out the hard way. You know, we knew a lot of people in the paranormal, which really helped, but the technical aspects of it and all that, I mean, you can, like, drive yourself nuts trying to figure out just how to do a podcast. You know, do we need this? Do we need that? What kind of equipment do we need? You know, what kind of computer? Like a million questions, and it's very overwhelming. So, you know, once we figured it out, we thought, how many other women out there have amazing and incredible things to say, but their voices won't be heard because they don't know how to get into it, or they don't know how to navigate that technology aspect of it. You know, how many people say they want to do a podcast and have something incredibly cool to say, but never end up doing it because, you know, halfway through, you just want to throw your computer against the wall and say, I'm never doing this again. So that was our goal, was to try and give, and our way of giving back was to try and find some women who had things to say, but, you know, didn't have the technological support behind them to do it. And that's, I remember when we finally got to talk to you on the phone, you know, there was like a whole series of questions that we asked, and I thought, this woman has something to say. She has something. People will love listening to her. You know, you know, you can talk about spirit coming in and saying, yeah, this is the one you want, and, you know, that kind of thing too, because that all factors into it. But, you know, I have a pretty strong intuition, and I just had a really good feeling about you. And I remember calling Beth back that day, and I was like, you know, what do you think about having Gina, we call it the Dr. Gina show, and blah, 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 blah. You know, and she's like, yeah, I mean, you know, because Beth was like super busy with work, and she wasn't going to be able to be around as much as she thought. So, you know, she kind of left it in my court to decide, since I'd be producing it. And I was like, yep, I'm going to do it. I'm pulling the trigger. I'm calling her right now. So, you know, it wasn't even a difficult decision to make. I just had to know that Beth was on board of supporting it, you know, as the other 50% of Girls versus Ghosts. So, you know, once I had her thumbs up, I was like, that's it, we're doing it. And, you know, you've blown me away ever since. Everything that you do, everything that you say, the way in which you communicate with your guides, with the council, it's unique. It's unique. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that have and are going to continue to benefit from what you have to say. And, you know, thank you so much to Shay and Matt for picking up the ball. And,
yes,
you know, when I couldn't produce the shows anymore, and for taking your show on, because, you know, that it was very important to me that you guys continued to have a platform, to be able to continue to do your valuable work. And, thank you, Shay and Matt, for taking that and running with it. I just think it's awesome.
Well, I want to just tell everyone, too, like, what Sharla did. First of all, her and Beth just started Girls versus Ghosts because they had a love for the paranormal. And you guys will see, and this is coming from my psychic channel, everybody. So I'm not talking to the council, but I have about this before. And I know I was talking to Sharla about this before. Then she started the Girls versus Ghosts and brought on all of us. And for me, it was coming out of the psychic closet, basically. And from then, she also introduced me to Donnie Irvin, who does Weird Weekends. And I had done with them, I was able to do, I've done galleries before, but I had done my first ghost investigation via gallery. So because of Sharla, I was introduced to a ghost box through DPX, who let me investigate Eloise with them. And this all goes back to because of you. So I kind of hope I know where my career is going, but it's always going to go back to because of you. It's always going to go back to because of Charlotte. And this Ghost of War series, I'm telling you, it's one of the most original things. And because now I am in this little paranormal world, so I do know. This is so original because nobody ever, and I know this, and I also hear counsel telling me this, but no one has ever done this. No one has wrote a documentary that involved the paranormal with it to tell the story along with spirit. It's the most innovative thing. I'm sure there's going to be other people that are going to do it after this, but this is always going to be the first, because it's not only a story that's told. You can buy a book about war, you know, we learn it in history, but there's never a part that and you're also bringing in a ghost investigating team to tell this story as well. And this makes it super amazing.
The paranormal investigation part, you know, I mean, that's our primary, I don't want to say fan base because that sounds weird, but, you know, our listenership or our viewers from Girls versus Ghosts are all primarily folks in the paranormal. So, you know, I think I would be doing this even if I weren't in the paranormal, but because that's who primarily is going to be watching this, what we're going to do is I'm going to tell the story. We're going to go to all these places. We're going to talk about the little idiosyncrasies and just the numerology of all this too when you start getting into it, and the coincidence and the fact that, you can hear your ancestors, they can speak through you. I mean, they're living through you right now. We're a part of them and of their cell group and what they, created as far as life here on Earth goes. But the paranormal aspect of it is going to be more to shed light and awareness on some locations around where we're going to be filming. So it's important to me. One thing that Beth and I had started to do, and then we kind of got off into a million different directions doing other things, but we still have plans for it eventually, is what's called paranormal preservation. And, a lot of these historic sites and locations, one of their biggest sources of revenue is, from haunted tourism and paratourism. So a lot of these buildings couldn't keep their doors open or couldn't keep a roof on the building, or these owners couldn't continue to enhance and maintain these properties unless, if people stopped coming to investigate. So what we want to do is highlight a location nearby there, which is kind of like totally separate from the documentary and the subjects and the people that we're talking about in the documentary, but to highlight these locations to help encourage people to come and bring their own teams and investigate there, and to continue to support these building owners in their efforts to maintain these buildings. Because once these properties are gone, or they fall and become dilapidated, that's it. They're gone forever. And in a disposable society where everything is throw away and tear down and start over and build new, the people who are buying these properties, they're doing it out of a love for what they're doing, and they're doing it to preserve history. And anything that we can do to support them, I'm all for it.
I love it. I love this. I love it. See, Sharla, and so you guys know, Sharla also has a full-time job, a family, single mother, just like a house, 2 cats. It's just, she does everything. So she's doing this along with like everything else. So we're going to open up chat, guys. So I'm going to bring Shay in to open up chat. So you guys, because I can't see chat right now. So I don't know if anyone's asking Sharla any questions. I don't have a clue because I can't see chat. So if anyone's in there, I'm not sure. But thank you, anyone that's in there. So I'm going to bring Shay on, and this is the time where we're going to get involved with chat and be able to talk with Shay and through chat. Sharla, can you see chat from where you're at?
I can.
You can, okay. So I cannot. So is there anybody, and Shay's about to come on soon. She just, it takes we're a little bit behind after I tell her to come on. So can you see a question or anything that someone might have asked you there? Because I know we have 15 minutes. I want to.
Hey guys, I'm here.
I can't see anything.
I'm here.
Luna said, when does Sharla sleep? Sharla doesn't sleep.
That's a great question.
It was funny. I was talking to Kelly about this at one point. Apparently she does the same thing, but we go, and once a month, I like to have one day where I don't have to go anywhere, talk to anybody, open a computer, open a phone, do any. It's my one day, and I will sleep until I wake up. And once I wake up, I don't do much. I may go back to sleep. I may nap. I may watch Netflix, whatever. But that one day a month is my time to just completely let go and recharge. And if I don't get that one day a month, I am a raging... It's just not pretty. Let's put it that way.
One day a month. That's so crazy. I mean,
no, that's about the schedule I'm on. I get it.
Well, you're a mom too, Shay. So I mean, forget it. Motherhood is a full-time job in itself. Especially you guys have more than one. So, I just blessings to all the mothers. It's a tough job too. Yeah, I give you. We need people like you guys, because I could never, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure God gives you what you can handle. If I had to handle it, I would, but it's just a lot. So who else do we have? Do we have another question in chat? Shay, Sharla,
Yes,
I can't see it.
Yes,
Sorry.
we do. I know you're so out of. Darren would like to know what. Let me see. He wants to know what states are involved in the series.
So Georgia, Mississippi, Virginia, and Pennsylvania.
Georgia, Mississippi, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Cool. Is that where I actually got an A in history and loved it, but is that where the Civil War was, in those states there?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Pretty much it was all over the Southeast. I mean, there were battles in Texas. There were battles in Oklahoma. There's so many Civil War battles all over the place that people haven't even heard of. You know, Iowa, Illinois, Ohio, everywhere. But the ones where the people that we're focusing on from my family, primarily Georgia, you know, Savannah, North Georgia in the mountains, Mississippi, Champions Hills, where Asbury was wounded and later passed in Meridian, Mississippi, which I find it. Can you imagine if you're going to pass away anywhere? Meridian would be a great place to do it. It just like the Meridian, but and then all over Virginia. I mean, so many battles were fought in the state of Virginia. And how awesome is it that the Twisted Realm crew, who is going to be filming this with me, they're from Virginia. They know that landscape and that area like the back of their hand. So they were truly a blessing. You know, talk about God just putting people in front of you who can help you do things, you know, and it turns out, too, that I might even be related to one of the members of the Twisted Realm team.
No, that's so amazing. That's so cool. No, but that's so true. Just like you said, God puts the people in front of you. Like there is some things that when the student's ready, the teacher will appear, you know. And I see this so often, and especially in my life. When I was ready, you appeared. Then I'm with Shay and this whole chat thing. Like I said, I was so nervous. I was telling Sharla before the show, like, I didn't really know what a live was, how to get on Facebook. But lately, like, you know, if you listen to my show, you know I'm no longer working in early intervention. I'm doing this full time for reasons that were beyond my control. But anyway, however it happened, it's here. And I've been going through like a hard adjustment, going from like full time, you know, Dr. Gina working with kids to not, because of the universe pushing me. And I've learned now how to get into chat, because this show is chat. So I'm on like DPX's Live, which I never thought I could do before. And I'm involved in when Sharla was on Shay's other show, and I'm chatting. And I'm like, okay, 9 o'clock, I got DPX Live. I got Shay and Kelly, and I'll get my ice cream, whatever bad stuff I'm going to eat. And there's no Netflix for me. It's like, who's on live today? Oh, Brandy, she's from DPX, is on Mystic Chat. And I'm just like, I'm in everything right now, because it's just so cool. Like, the people that I've met in the paranormal field, and again, it's only since October will be my first show. Everyone that I've met, like, I can't, it's almost like your vibe attracts your tribe. Like, I just love you guys. I can't think of anyone, like, I just met the most amazing people and blessed. And to do my first super cool investigation at Eloise with Weird Weekends and DPX, like, holy shit, like, I am so attached to this box. And to talk to Sharla on the phone and see this box with Asbury talking, like, this is a whole world that I'm just in love with. I love talking to dead people. Like, I really do. Like, if you know me, you know I live in New York City. I go out by myself to walk down the street and talk to dead people. I go to the river to talk to... I continuously talk to dead people so much that, like, I sometimes forget who I'm talking to, like, where I'm at, because I'm always talking to dead people. I love it. So that, like, and it's so true, because, like you said, the teacher will appear. How did you know this, you know, Twisted Realm is going to be... You didn't even know that they were going to be doing this with you. You just had this idea, and all of a sudden, look, they appear, and they're the perfect match for you in so many ways. It's just amazing. It's mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's definitely been fun It's definitely been divine intervention and guidance.
Now, the Twisted Realm, where do they live? In Virginia? That's where
they
they're
live
from,
in Virginia. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're about to drop season 2 on VidiSpace very soon.
Oh, so they have their own show right now, too. That's cool. And I'll have to go on there and listen.
Sharla, don't they have a new producer?
I am now an executive producer, yes.
See? You gotta throw that out there.
Something else. Charlotte, did you just tell me you're an executive producer for Twisted Realms?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. See, the list just goes on. Jesus. And
that's why
and
it went from 2 days of sleep a month to 1.
Oh, my God. So they actually have a show. So the Twisted Realm has a show on VidiSpace.
Yes. They have season 1 is already there. Season 1, you can watch season 1 on VidiSpace and on Amazon Prime. You just search for the Twisted Realm, or I think you maybe search VidiSpace and then the Twisted Realm. But that's on Amazon Prime, season 1, and then season 2 is going to be coming out any day now, really. So,
okay, and you can find them on VidiSpace, which I actually joined. I joined VidiSpace, and I remember I never knew how to log in, and I was calling Heather and saying, Heather, because you were on VidiSpace doing something, and I really wanted to see it, and I'm like, how do I get on this thing? I paid for the membership. I don't know how to get on. But, eventually I got on somehow, some way. So, and actually, it's now Heather. Tell me a little bit about Heather, okay, because I know that Heather used to do our social media, our banners, and Shay does an amazing job too. Both of them are geniuses. And so besides this, you also do something with Heather. So can we talk about that real quick? Your digital marketing. Just something else that Sharla does.
Yeah, right. So Heather and I started a business in May. It was either May or June. I can't remember. It's all running together now. But we started a company called Digital Ink Concepts. And we do marketing, internet, social media marketing for digital marketing for any type of business. So small business, medium-sized business, large business. We're going to be doing some work with Amazon and Home Depot coming up here soon. So we're excited about that. And so we'll make pretty banners for people, and then we'll also help them with their SEO applications and automation, and I probably will bring. I do some executive coaching on the side as well. So I know what happens when you're a single mom, man. You got to hustle. So we'll probably bring that into it as well. I'm working on a training program right now that we're going to be offering. That will help walk people through how to market their business, through social media. So kind of excited about that. That it was hoping to be done by now, but it probably, honestly, realistically, will not be done until probably November. It's just kind of got put on the back burner. But it's going to be an awesome training.
I just want to tell people about this, just for me, Heather had done all the Girls for Ghosts media and all those banners, and now Shay does them. And I have no concept how to do them. So if there's anyone out there that really wants that social marketing media, it's just really helps. And even for a lot of the ghost hunting teams, there's a lot of good ghost hunting teams, but nobody knows about them because they're not marketing. They're not trying to. This is anyone in the paranormal really needs that, because just like you said, these buildings that need to be invested, that they have housing. There's even in Philadelphia, because I'm in Philly now, New Jersey, South Jersey. There's so many old historic buildings in Philly and stuff, and they'll have open house tours, but that's just a tour. Imagine if these ghost hunting people just start looking into this. But how are you going to do it? You got to market it, right? So it just goes hand in hand. No one's going to hire a ghost hunter unless they're marketing. You need to have the marketing. So that's and just to use you guys because you're in the paranormal, nobody knows about it until you market it. That's huge.
Yeah. And we're doing work for anybody who is, we've done some for pest control. moving companies. I just did one for a fraternity at a college. They wanted geofilters for one of their big band parties. So, Snapchat, you can have your own Snapchat geofilters made, but they have to meet all these different requirements and specifications for lines of resolution and stuff like that. So, was able to do that for them and create some flyers and stuff for their big party. Moving companies, salons, pet sitting. What else have we done? We've done some stuff for DPX. Logos, we do logos. And, that's important if you are a team and you want to get out there and, if you want to do a T-shirt and stuff like that, is to get a really good logo that's indicative of who you are and shows a lot of your personality. Because a lot of times, business owners are that. They focus on their business or they focus on what it is they do best. But, they're not marketers. And you don't have to be. There's plenty of resources out there that can help capture who you are as a company and an organization through a logo or a simple artwork for your social media. And it, like you said, it helps for people to take you seriously if they see you have a logo, you have a website, you have social media pages where they can interact. It's important. It sets you apart. Your...
Well, I hope to use you one day. Dr. Gina, hashtag pass your fucking test. So, you never know. You'll see what's going on. So, all right, I know it's coming towards our end, Shay. Do we have any important questions to address in the chat there that we might have missed?
We have a couple that Sharla answered in chat, but I think they're important to say on air. Luna asked, when do you start filming?
We start filming in October. So the end of October. Twisted's got a bunch of events coming up for September and October. It's kind of when the paranormal season for everybody cranks up, and they're going to be running some events. So probably October. We'll film probably through spring of next year and then hopefully deliver episode 1 by fall of 2020.
Yep. Let's see. I'm making sure I didn't miss any questions.
Somebody has asked. Steph is with me. Steph is not with me yet. She hopefully will be soon. I know she's kind of weighing out the thing. It's kind of lessening. I can see it's been dropped to a category 4 now. But, keep her and everybody along the coast in your guys' prayers. But I think she'll be coming here possibly tomorrow.
Okay. I knew it was today or tomorrow, but I couldn't remember which. So, yes, definitely Stephanie.
She was going to head out today, but that Georgia's kind of doing things, they want to get all the tourists out first. And then tomorrow they're going to be opening both sides of I-16 east. They're going to take the eastbound lanes and turn them into westbound lanes so that there's more lanes of people to evacuate. Yeah.
Good.
Oh, yes, good. Just my prediction, I think everyone's going to be okay. I feel positive that everyone's going to be okay.
Well, positive vibes help. So.
Yes.
Sending them. So, I want to thank everybody who's in chat, everybody that's there. I feel kind of crazy that I'm not in there, so I don't know exactly who's listening, but just thank everyone that's listening. And if there's any other pertinent questions, anything in there or anything Sharla or Shay wants to bring up before we end this.
Sharla, where can we find all the information on Ghosts of War series?
That's a great question. So if you go to ghostofwarseries.com, and it's ghosts, GHOSTS of warseries.com, you can find out a little more about it. You can also research us on social media. We got a Facebook page. We're going to be starting a Patreon soon that will kind of get you some backdoor access to the Backers Only page, which is a private group of folks who sponsored us and or folks who have, helped share the information, have us on podcasts and things like that. So that'll be coming out soon, and that'll be all over our social media accounts. We've got both Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything.
And you know Paranormal Buzz Radio will share it all, so.
Of course,
Yeah.
you guys always do. Love you for it.
Yes.
Well, I want to say thank you for my first guest, to be Sharla, which is like a milestone since it's almost a year since I came out of the psychic closet. And I'm just like, I'm so happy to be like blessed for Charlotte and Shay. And it's been a year. It's funny. I saw some posts. I'll probably post it later. A year that I've been doing this. And, what a year, man. Just what a year. So many changes, so many things that I've been through. And, I expect a lot of changes in the next month. I sure do. So like, I just think that it's just because of the people that I met. It's just it's the change. Like if it wasn't for Charla, who knows what I'd be working, what I'd be doing. I don't really know. I don't know. But so I'm very appreciative of you, Charlotte, and Shay for picking up her stray children and giving us a home here on Paranormal. And Matt, he's the co-owner with Shay. And thank you, everybody, just like making those banners and just taking a chance. I just really feel blessed and happy.
I was a fan of yours way before you joined this network. We were friends before this network.
Right. I was on your show a couple times. And it's always like, Shay, it's so funny because I'm in New York and a lot of you guys are like either close or you do a lot of the Paracon. You're in New Hampshire. And it's just, I just feel like I'm just like, I just want to do like all the Paracon. I want to be in the investigations. Now I totally want to do ghost hunt tours because Charla introduced me to Donnie and I did this and then DPX made it so that I could do an investigation because I wind up doing a couple of readings for them at one of the Paracons and I'm just now like,
she's addicted.
I never really knew it. I'm so addicted. Like, I want to be the medium on a ghost hunting team. Like, I'm so intent on it. I never thought or even knew it was possible, or that's what I wanted to do. But I'm just like, give me an old abandoned house and a ghost box, please. Just that's what I want to do now. I just think it's the most amazing thing ever. I love it. So I never would have known what that was until Charlotte said, Gina, you need to talk to this Donnie. And I'm like, Donnie and Lindsay, okay, who are they? Bang, bang, there you go. And then DPX is like, when I met them at the sound, one of the Salem things, they're like, you need to come investigate Eloise, we'll have you there. I'm like, okay, like, it's just amazing. So I'm just really happy. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you. Thanks for allowing us to be part of your journey.
Oh, you are the journey. You are it. So, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to all the new shows you're going to be on. You have a show you're on soon, Charlotte, coming up. What's your next show?
Yeah, actually, one thing Coyote Chris Sutton and I have a show coming out on VidiSpace called The Spirit Drum, and it's going to be something a little bit different than paranormal. We're really going to focus on wellness and well-being, spirituality, and different religions and things that people do to, ease stress and connect with spirit. So we've filmed about 6 episodes now, and I'm in the editing process, and we'll have those hopefully turned over. Yeah, I think it'll be a free show on VidiSpace, probably on their social media. Not really sure, but that will be out there, and it will be coming probably October release.
Wow,
it's amazing to
super
work.
Cool.
I can't wait.
Okay, I have to look out for that. That's going to be super cool. Just like, I can't say I'm bored no more. Like, what are you doing tonight, Gina? Oh, man, I'm hanging with the cats. I'm watching. God, who am I? Who am I? I don't even know, man. Who am I? Because last year I had to be out somewhere. Now I'm cool, like staying in. Just so weird. Not me, but time changes, man.
Sharla, our little Gina's growing up.
She's growing up. She's behind the nest.
I don't know about that because I'm 1 inch always close to the turning to the other side. I'm light and dark here.
That's what Sharla and I are here for. We keep you in the light.
Well, I tell you what, with all the amazing shows that Paranormal Buzz Radio has out there, you guys are an amazing network, and you have such diverse shows. It's not, every show isn't the same as the next one. It's all different, and the variety that you guys have, I think you guys are the best network out there, hands down, with the shows.
Yay. Yeah, and I tell Shay this too. I'm like, I don't know what this means, anything about it. I really don't. But I know there's something where if somebody gets sponsors and stuff, and all of a sudden, like, the people that own the radio station actually get paid for sponsors. I see that happening. I don't know how it happens or anything, but I believe it's going to happen. And Dr. Gina. It's just a prediction. I just believe it. That stuff happens, right? Isn't there how that stuff happens? Stuff like that happens, right? I don't know how the radio things work, but I just believe that her radio station, because there's so many shows, like, it's going to be like, that's how it's going to be. I believe that. I believe it's going to go in a lot of different places. For sure.
That's making me blush. That's hard to do.
But it is, like, but just think, it's so crazy. Like, you had your shows, right, before, and then you picked up Sharla's girls. You picked up, well, you already had Kelly, so you picked up me and Stephanie with the Mind's Eye, and Madison with Spoofy Talk, and she's like, Madison, is it Madison Reed, or what is Madison's show? Can you, what's
Spoofy
her show?
Talk?
Madison Reed, right?
No,
yeah.
Madison
Is it Madison
Smith.
Reed?
Smith.
I don't know what I got. Madison Smith.
Yeah.
So you picked her up from Sharla, right?
Peggy Gypsy show. Peggy Gypsy show's awesome.
Oh.
Into the Pit.
Yeah.
We
have like between 10 and 12 shows, so it's
wow,
and they're all awesome individually. Never mind the shows, they're awesome people.
Yeah.
They're really good people.
Yeah.
So you're busy too, Shay. I make Shay come on with me. I'm just like, so Shay says, I'm like, oh no, I'm busy. I'm like, oh no. Like Sharla, I'm just like, okay, Sharla. Sharla, when she'd take my phone calls, she would have to talk to everybody. It's just, I appreciate you too. What would I do? Like, you keep me grounded. Sharla would just, every once in a while, because I was so nervous when I first started my shows, Sharla would say, she'd have to text me every once in a while, you're doing a good job. And I would get that text message. I'd be like, yes, I'm doing a good job. Every time she'd send that text message, and if she didn't send it, I'd be like, how's everything? You're doing a good job. And I just get that text message like, oh my God, great, I'm doing a good job. And then I have my friend Joanna and my friend Jackie who used to listen, and my friend Joy, and they'll be texting me, it's great. I'm just like, oh my God, it's so good, I'm doing good. But I would need those text messages. I needed them to make sure that I was doing good. And just to hear Sharla say, then right after the show, Sharla would talk to me for a minute. She'd say, you did good. I'd be like, oh, good, I did good. Because I used to answer questions that...
It's just really cool watching you progress. Every show you got better and better and better and better. And, when you would, it was funny because I would be able to, and Beth and I would talk about this, and Heather and I would talk about it kind of behind the scenes, but we could always tell when you were kind of going into the zone, and when you were channeling, because you were different. Your personality changed, your mannerism changed, your voice changed, and I could pinpoint the exact moment when it happened too. And it was funny because I don't know if you know this or not, but I'd be on text message with Heather, and I'm like, boom, council time, and she's like, Gina's in the zone, and we would listen to you. It was amazing. It was like magic watching it all happen.
I just want to tell some, like, if you guys are following my social media, when I did the gallery reading, a gallery reading when I talked to, like, Spirit, not just Spirit of Eloise, I was talking to some of the people's past relatives. Charlotte's such an investigator. So Joe from DPX did a video, and he sent it to me. And through the video, I sent it to Charlotte so she could see my gallery reading. And she looked, and she found out, it's on my social media, it's so cool, where when I'm in the zone, when I am channeling, which I was doing at the gallery, first of all, if you look through my walkthrough, my eyes, they get dilated and they do something different. So you can completely see that through my walkthrough, which I never seen because I never had video or anybody take me doing this. So when Joe did that, Sharla pinpointed my chakras lit up. Yeah. And she showed me that my throat chakra, which was blue, was lit. My crown chakra was lit, and my sacral, which keeps me grounded. So she explained to me why everything was lit. And she's like, this is lit because obviously you're connecting, so my sacral chakra is working. And they were so bright. It was so amazing. Like that picture, if you should go to my Instagram, Psychic Medium, Dr. Gina, I think it is. But that picture is so crazy that Sharla found. Nobody else saw. I looked at the video. I didn't see it. Joe didn't see it. And Sharla picked it out. It's so cool.
It's an awesome
cool.
picture. Go look. Yes.
Yeah, just that you picked that out. That was super amazingly cool. But yeah, when I do go, I call it going to the other side. So if you have a reading, my clients will, if I'm doing it in person, because I do a lot of phone readings, but if I'm doing it in person, you can clearly see it. If I'm doing a gallery and spirit takes me over, I'll take on the personality of whoever did it, but I won't even know it. So that's why I like the fact that I was videotaped, because how many times am I ever videotaped doing it? Not many, you know what I mean? Just not. So it was super cool to watch what I really look like or how I act, which is different. And a lot of my clients, like you said, Charlie, can find out when I do switch, because I don't stay in a channel. Like Abraham Hicks does this, or Esther Hicks, her name is, and she does Abraham. But she'll stay in that for 2 hours. I'll go back and forth. Like if I do a show for an hour or a gallery for an hour and a half, I'll channel, I'll come back and forth. Spirit moves in and out. The only way you can tell is usually the way my eyes go, my clients say, or the way I talk. I'll talk different, or I'll do different mannerisms. But otherwise, I don't stay in a channel like Abraham does when I'm connecting to the council for 2 hours, or I'll come back and forth, because for me, I just need more control. I'm not able to give myself up for that long period of time. It just doesn't work with me. I can't do that. I need to be more in control to be able to get myself back quickly. I don't let them come all the way in and take me for that long time. Not at all. So, okay, I'm sure we went over time like me and Sharla and Jay always do, so.
It was worth it.
Okay, well, I want to thank everybody who listened, and I just want to thank both Sharla and Shay again, and just thank everyone for listening, and look forward to the Ghost of War series and all the new things that Sharla's doing and growing. Sometimes I don't even know what she's doing until I see it, and now I know some more things, and all Shay's shows, and just let's just grow our little paranormal family. I just love it.
Amen.
Love it.
Amen.
All right. So goodbye, everybody, I guess. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, welcome to Metro by T-Mobile.
Hi, my dad is in serious need of an upgrade.
Yeah, my phone's a fossil.
He needs a new phone and a new network stat.
Well, when he switches to Metro, he can get an amazing iPhone 7 with HD Retina display for just $99.99 after ID validation.
Wow, $99.99?
Bye-bye, fossil.
Requires porting of eligible number not currently active on T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. With validation of ID. An independent database limit 4 per account/household. 32 gigabyte model only. See store for details and terms and conditions.
A bolt of lightning has struck Broadway. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. See the epic story continue on stage, where the boy who lived lives on. You'll believe the magic is real, and the award-winning theatrical event so spectacular it has to be told in 2 parts. Hogwarts welcomes you home this winter. Get tickets at HarryPotterOnStage.com.